Lest there be any fornicator, profane person as Esau. I want to start by giving all honor, all praise, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rechak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone that rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations to the tabernacle of David, the for elect, scattered abroad across the four winds of the earth. And this was quite disturbing. I mean, hey, what do you, what do we all expect, from E? We know about their whole get down. We know their nature. The spirit that's, lifted up is not upright in them. And it just shows in their, their actions, their daily activities, and you seeing all this dirt that's spilling out via these Epstein files. It's a lot going on, and part of it, of course, is for the distraction, but it's also revealing who the wicked truly is. Scriptures talk about how that man of sin being revealed, and certain translations, when you read it, it translates to the man of lawlessness. Matter of fact, let me go over to it real quick. Second Thessalonians 2, and I'm gonna read it in the NLT, see what it say. Yep. This is Second Thessalonians 2 and 2. It says, "Don't be so easily shaken or alarmed by those who say that the day of the Lord has already begun. Don't believe them, even if they claim to have had a spiritual vision, a revelation, or a letter supposedly from us. Don't be fooled by what they say, for that day will not come until there is a great rebellion against the Most High, and the man of lawlessness is revealed, the one who brings destruction." So he's the man of sin, and you could say he's a man of lawlessness. All right, because there's nothing but lawless behavior, all throughout the world, and especially primarily here in Babylon the Great, which is spiritually called Sodom in Egypt. All type of sexual perverseness, whether it's adultery, man with man, woman with woman, or man with beast. All right, that's another corrupt form of fornication, man. All right, and that's a sentence punishable by death. All right, but the man of lawlessness, he's the one that is in power, and Scripture saying Psalms, the wicked walk on every side when the vilest man is exalted. He's been in power for far too long, so it's going to, perpetuate that negative influence. Our people, they're corrupted because they integrated with the wicked and became seduced. Proverbs 12:26, the way of the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the ways of the wicked seduce of them. So our people became, perverse. And it's no wonder why, even in those files, they throwing Jake under the bus. These Jakes that are, successful, big name celebrity Jakes, they all, they're being found out to have participated in those lawless activities, So ultimately, this man, he has to be put down, all right? Because, he has that negative influence over the world. The scriptures say that in Sirach, the 10th chapter, that as is the manner of the ruler is, so are the people. All right. Matter of fact, let me just grab that too. dealing with children. You know, it's sick, man. I saw something disturbing about Whoopi Goldberg, but we don't know how true some of this is. You know what I'm saying? Some of it can be fabrication of things. Some of it can be, just something corroborated and put into the files to throw people off. To take eyes off of the actual people. All right, because we know Trump is all through there, but for whatever reason they want to pull back. They try to, preserve his image while, implicating, these Jake entertainers. They always love to deflect and use Jake as the fall guy, you know what I mean, or the scapegoat. And now the energy has shifted to Jay-Z and Pusha T. A lot of people are questioning that shit, like, huh? They had Jay-Z hanging around with Harvey Weinstein in 96, and people were like, wait, that don't sound right. Jay-Z was just getting off the ground at that time. He wasn't that known like that. He wasn't that big. So why would he even be running in those circles way back then? You know what I mean? But, we know how Esau gets down. But one thing for sure is a lot of these Jakes that are like Esau is because, they've been trained. They learned the ways of wickedness being around these devils, man. He became that monster that he was because he envied the oppressor. He had to be around the likes of Clive Davis and those devils, and we know how they get down. So this is Sirach 10 and 2. It says, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. So that's why you got all this lawless behavior, because we have a lawless man that's been in power for all this time. And that whole thing that they've been doing with Jeff Epstein, on Epstein Island, it was a whole big criminal enterprise that all these people got down with, from your politicians and congressmen, your presidents, and they were all a bunch of sexual deviants, making all type of evil plots and plans, because these are the wicked, the ungodly that prosper in the world, increasing in riches. But now the jig is up because the Lord is getting ready to bring them down, so they're being exposed. But anyway, I always want to, play this little clip right here. This Edomite, this motherfucker, man. I'm gonna just play the video. This is very disturbing.
Watch, I actually was physically nauseous. It was the most disturbing thing. Erica Van Meenen and her 10-year-old son were home Friday night when her phone lit up with notifications from the security camera in her horse stables. My horse was looking very bright-eyed and aware that something was going on, so I scrolled to the next clip. And that's when a man walks by. Van Meenen called police. When Vernon RCMP arrived, she and an officer watched her surveillance video. It showed a man allegedly.
This is sick. Like, how could you even have, like, that's clearly a sick demon. All right. For how could you even grow any type of passion? How could you have any type of like, how? You know what I'm saying? For a beast, for a freaking, for a horse. These people are sick in their head, man. And this is why, and you know, the brother had posted this in the caption, Job 30:1. I'm gonna grab it. But these people have power over you. They were over you all this time. No, they gotta go into chains, man. They have to.
Violating her horse. Goes and gets a stool and comes back and commits the offense.
To rape the horse.
After he did that, she tried to get away from him. It has never crossed my mind that somebody would actually do that. And I've never had a stranger sneak onto my property. RCMP say a criminal offense was committed inside the horse's enclosed pen.
Of him raping the horse.
A suspect has been identified. The investigation is ongoing. She believes Yola wasn't the only horse approached by the man. Some other horses seemed like their blankets were tampered with as well. The spirited, smiley horse medically okay after the incident.
So she obviously has the full video. I can't share that video here, but the police caught him and released him. Watch.
And released him. And that's exactly why. Okay? This man he's lawless. You know, he doesn't abide by the statutes and commandments of the Heavenly Father. This is why he's known as the man of sin. All right? Because the proper judgment for a demon like that, let's go to the law. This is the proper way you handle that. Let's go to Leviticus. It is Leviticus 20:15 and 16. It says, and if a man lie with a beast, he shall surely be put to death, and you shall slay the beast. And you know, unfortunately, the horse would have to be put down too, because that horse is clearly not going to be the same. All right, totally corrupted. Because that's sick. It's unclean. It's vile. I'm gonna read it again. I'll get the NLT on it. Leviticus 20:15. It says, if a man has intercourse with an animal, he must be put to death, and the animal must be killed. If a woman presents herself to a male animal to have intercourse with it, she and the animal must both be put to death. You must kill both, for they are guilty of a capital offense. All right, and this is what separates us from, you know, these other nations, man. You know, these laws would govern us, and it would keep us, you know, holy. Okay, separate from all this uncleanness, all this abominable behavior. And that's why when we come into power, the law is going to be the standard of the world. You're going to have to follow that. It's going to be zero tolerance for this type of behavior in the world to come, the new heaven and the new earth. That's why this world is passing away, man, with all its wickedness. All right? And the Lord he's going to continue to address it by turning these plagues up. All right, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. But this is definitely an evil act. A freaking horse, man. And he's still able to walk around in public. You know what I mean? They let the man go. So if you got an animal or you got a ranch or whatever, this dude, he's going around lurking. The animals are not safe. Lord willing, the Lord just put the spirit on one of those beasts to take his ass out. He needs that kind of judgment, man. One of them horses, you know, the Lord put a spirit on him to you know, and have on his horseshoe. that hard ass horseshoe and kick his fucking face off, man. That way he won't go around touching nobody else's cattle. This dude is sick in the head. But hey, this is normal among them. They do shit like this. We know how they are with the dogs. You know, especially the Edomite woman. We know how they are with dogs. Hence, Job 30. Job 30:1, he has it in the caption. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. Yeah, because they're like beasts. They're beastly in nature. All right, let me get that in Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes 3. You had that guy, Aleister Crowley. You know, it was the reason why his mother, you know, called him what she called him. Ecclesiastes 3:18, it says, I said in mine heart concerning the estate of the sons of men, that the Most High might manifest them, and that they might see that they themselves are beasts. And they are like beasts. You know, having that primitive, impulsive nature. All right. And don't have any self-control, and are not governed by, you know, boundaries and laws and statutes. The animal, they're free of that. So that's how these devils operate, like beasts. That dude Aleister Crowley, that a lot of them revere. But he called him, what was his name? Religion of the Dilemma. Yep. It says adopted the title Master Therian, Greek for beast. All right. To signify his role as the prophet of Thelema in the incarnation of the beast from the book of Revelation, which the beast doesn't consist of one man. It's a whole government power and infrastructure, a whole system. All right, which a collective of European nations who stem from the nation of Edom. All right, that make up this particular beast. All right, NATO, the EU, America stems from it, and they dominate and rule the world. So that's really what the beast is in Revelation. All right, but you know, this devil here, he's a Satanist, and you know, he's admired by a lot of those people in the Epstein files, and you know, people that are into you know, these rituals that commemorates Satan. You know, they sacrifice to devils and not to the Most High. You know, is what they get into: occultism, magic, witchcraft. And part of it is you gotta, you know, spill blood. You gotta make sacrifices. You know, basically just lawless behavior. So, you know, this guy became like a role model to these type of people. Okay. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law, which is basically lawlessness. Okay. That is straight up lawlessness. So you seeing who the man of sin is this damn devil, E. He the one that gives license to sin, doesn't he? Like, most sexuality is lawful, but you marry two women in a particular state that outlaws, multiple marrying multiple women. They call it bigamy. So you okay? You're in the clear if a man marries another man or a woman marries another woman. But if a man that's hetero, he decides to take on another woman beside his main woman, that's bigotry. Now you're not in the clear. Now you're in violation. What kind of FAG ass shit is that? Come on, man. And that's why let me get this in I believe it's in Habakkuk 1:4. Yeah, Habakkuk 1:4 says, "Therefore the law is slacked, and judgment doeth never go forth. For the wicked doeth compass about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceedeth." Yeah, and he doesn't judge righteously. He'll condemn the innocent, and he'll let the guilty walk free. Don't give them any type of penalty or judgment, so they get to walk on and continue in their wickedness. But then he'll turn around and condemn those who are innocent and just. So yeah, this man he got to go. But this was very disturbing, and I was like, let me just do a quick lesson on that. There's another reason why we got to come into power, man, and put this earth back in order. Having that vex a lot of energy, man. Just looking at their behavior and how filthy it is. But the Lord is preserving all this, because he's getting ready to completely judge it. Let me get let's go to 2 Ezra 15. And verse 5, it says, "Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore, saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually." And we're not gonna hold back. We're not gonna keep silence on all this wickedness. Scriptures say, break down the arm of the wicked and evil man, and seek out his wickedness till thou find nothing, till thou find none. So that's why everything is coming out. Everything is pouring out. All right. Especially with these devils that are in power, that's been behind the scenes all this time. It's all being leaked out. This dude Epstein, he was connected with the Rothschilds. So no wonder they had all this immunity to do all this wickedness that they do. Because they were under the green light of the true powers that be, the international bankers, man. All right. So just imagine if the Lord would have given the birthright to him, man. Ooh, Hebrews 12:16. And it says, "Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For you know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. For he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears." Yeah, the Lord couldn't have never given the birthright to an animal like this, man. because we're seeing a glimpse of what he would do with it now. So called Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai that he rejected his ass and gave it to Jacob, who would be the plain man, okay? The more morally upright man who would do right with it. Even though, 2/3 of his descendants right now are corrupted. But the Lord, he severed for himself a remnant, and they're going to ultimately be the governing body. They're going to be a government to restore order when the Lord comes back and, make the earth, his footstool. Okay. But let me look up that word fornicator, because that's what it describes Esau as. You get the word there, pornos. It says a male prostitute, as venal, i.e. by analogy, a debauchee. Was a debauchee a person given to excessive indulgence in sensual pleasures? And that's, men that get off on basically any damn thing, man. They got the sickest fetishes ever, man, because they sick in the head. All right? Get off on a freaking horse, man. That horse can kill you. To divert or distract from work obligations, tempt into excess or immorality. And that's what this society is all about. All that are given to pleasure. That's described in Babylon. It's one of the characteristics of Babylon. A debauched person, one who drinks too much alcohol, takes drugs, shows bad sexual behavior. Somebody who is debauched, somebody who is dissolute and acts without moral restraint. This nigga brought him a stool with him to go fill up a horse. So this is describing Esau. This is what they do. And speaking of, we see in the word there, hornos, who controls that industry? What people? You can guess it. I'll give you a hint. They rock the blue hexagram, all right, with 6 pointing stars. It says a man who prostitutes his body to another's lust for hire, like a temple prostitute. And it says a man who indulges in unlawful sexual intercourse, fornicator. Adultery is fornication. And then when you look up that word profane, the word is babelas. And it says accessible, lawful to be trodden. And what's interesting about that definition is the Lord said that he's going to trot in the winepress alone. And we know that who's going to be a part of that winepress. Who is this that coming from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? He looked like he just came back from a wine press. Well, Esau, he's going to be a part of that wine press that he's going to come to trot in, to trample. It says of places. And that Edomite, I wish that horse would have trod in his ass, man. That horse would have been in the right to protect itself from that beast. This is profane, unhallowed, common, public place of men ungodly. So he's an unhallowed individual. He's ungodly. That's why the Lord would not want him nowhere near his place of worship, the temple. And it was mainly the Edomite who continued to desecrate the temple. Every time, we like the first temple The Babylonians came and did what they did. Guess who was right there to assist them? The Edomite. Then we was able to come back and rebuild, build up the walls, and go into construction to rebuild it. Then what happened after that? You had the Greeks, the first abomination of desolation, and then hundreds of years later, what happened after that? 70 A.D. But even prior to that, during the first one, what did Epiphanes do? He brought harlots up in there and turned it into a big orgy party in the temple. To their god Dionysus. If it wasn't Epiphanes, I think it was one of the Ptolemies. All right, one of them devils. They did it. You could read that in Maccabees, the 6th chapter. So this man, he's always been a profane individual. But you got wicked Israelites who sold out that still say that he can be saved. So you're just as bad as they are, man. All right. Anybody that would justify the wicked and condemn the just, even they both are an abomination. So, yeah, I had to do a response to this, man. And this is why we say what we say about him. So, I'm going to end on that note. I'm going to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And to the next lesson, I say, Shalom.